Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to talk about how I planned and executed the Goa trip. So here are the steps that I followed. The first step was to arrive at a detailed plan, then to come up with a summary of the detailed plan to be shared with, let's say, the family so that they are aware where I am or where I plan to be. The third step was to actually estimate the expenses and how and also track the expenses, like how the planned expenses were uh, against the actual expenses or vice versa. Then a few safety tips. I took a list of all the car service centers on the way. Then comes some of the interesting items like what I need to buy for myself, for family, the items to buy. And then the last step is to have a checklist of items that need to be packed in various places. For example, broadly speaking, there are three different places. The first one is my primary bag. Usually, I carry only one bag for most of the trips. The second place is the laptop bag. And the third place is the car. So, here we dive in for some of the details. So, here is how my detailed plan looks like. I have the start date and the day count. This particular trip was having a total of 3 days of travel. So that goes all the way from 1 to 3 and the start date. So it automatically calculates when I enter different day numbers, it will calculate the actual calendar day. And then I have a kilometer. This kilometer is between the 2 points. Let's say, for example, home and the next stop, 147 kilometers from Google Maps. And this column D is the cumulative distance. So you can see this 147 plus 126, that adds up to 273. That is this point. And then the planned time, the arrival departure times at various places. All the yellow marked items are the refueling stops. Then the description of the point, the location, the actual city or the village, and then for any hotel accommodation, the number of days of stay. For example, in this case, it is one night and then the same place another night coming up below. And the planned rate, which is the rate at which the booking was made or the booking is planned to be made, and the total expenses. So if you look at this, this is all straight from Google Maps. So I plan to start at 5 a.m. on this particular day from home, Bangalore, and then there's a breakfast stop, then there's a coffee and a refueling stop. My vehicle can travel up to 500 to 600 kilometers with a full tank, but I tend to refill once it is about half tank over. So you would see the first place where I'm going to refill is after 273 kilometers, and the next place where I'm going to refill is further down 279 kilometers. This ensures that I am well within a very safe, uh, anxiety-free range in terms of fuel. Then I have my lunch stop planned, then where I'm going to uh, see any places on the way, like for example this warship, Navy Warship Museum in Carver. And then on the way I actually plan to stop at the first beach that came up as I entered Goa, that is Polam Beach, and then a couple of other beaches. And then the day ends by reaching the resort. And then the next day's plan is also mentioned. After breakfast, start the sightseeing, and then various places where I am going to stop, all the beaches. And I have also marked like what is the attraction of these beaches. There are so many beaches in Goa. I could cover, or I decided to cover only very few of them, the main ones. For example, Baga Beach and Kalangute Beach are like vibrant. Anjuna Beach is a little bit rocky. Vacator is having soft sand, and more Jim is also called the Little Russia. So I have all this captured as part of the plan. And then there are for the refueling stops. This is actually on the way back on day 3 from the resort in Goa to back to home with the stops the same way. And then my estimated fuel efficiency for my car start to stop is 16 kilometers per liter, and the fuel price I just rounded it off as 100 per a liter. It was far less in Goa. It is a little bit more on the Karnataka side. And the total driving distance that comes out of this, the cumulative distance and the food expenses per day, since I was traveling alone, estimated it to be 1000 rupees per day. And a bunch of other calculations. Some of these numbers get picked up from here, like for example, the hotel expenses, excluding the tax, the fuel expenses out of this calculation, and then the food and everything 3 days out, so 3 multiplied by 1000, and then estimated toll, estimated entry fees for any of the tourist attractions, and there's a subtotal, and the tax I just uh, overall I put a tax of 18% across the board to arrive at an estimated 28,055 rupees for the entire trip. This is the planned expense. And next comes the summary of the plan. Summary of the plan is to be shared with the family or anyone who is interested in knowing about it. So they don't get to know all the details of the plan, like where I'm going to stop for lunch or where I'm going to refuel. It's immaterial to them. What would be of interest to them is when I am going, where I'm going, on what days, and where I'm going to stay, and then maybe of interest to them is what places I'm visiting. Then at the end of the trip, I keep track of my expenses. So I had this kind of a picture at the end of the trip. Boarding and lodging, the actual was 13,056 rupees versus the budgeted 11,000. This budgeted comes from this detailed plan. Fuel 8460 versus 8775, tolls 1485 versus 2000, etc., etc. And then, well, in many places I use, wherever it's possible, I use my Amex card. That gives some cash back for the expenses that were incurred. Primarily, this is the hotel expenses. So the total includes that sort of the cashback or discount, so to speak. So the total was 25,222 against a budgeted of 28,055. And then I plan to take a few YouTube videos, but as you see, I would have taken about 35 videos plus an introductory video plus this video that you're watching around the Goa trip. So 37 videos, but I had actually planned to take only very few of them. And then all the Honda car service centers, the names of those service centers, as well as where they are located. Then items to buy, and then the packing checklist. The packing checklist here includes a lot of things which you wouldn't want to miss, even if the hotel gives you that as complimentary. You can see all kinds of things here. In the main bag, there is a little toiletry bag that I carry. Then you have the cell phone chargers, laptops, accessories. It includes even things that are there in the car, like the FASTag. One thing I have not mentioned here is the camera and equipment. You have seen power bank and data transfer cable. That's USB to USB-C cable to transfer data from basically the videos from the cell phone to my laptop at the end of every day. Otherwise, it's going to blow up my cell phone. So this is the list of things with which I plan the trip.